Hey, we're back. Got my card playmat here. And let's crack into this bad boy. What do you say? So, needless to say, starting right now, if you're worried about story spoilers and stuff, we're going to be playing through the first chapter of the campaign here. Possibly more, depending on how things go, but we'll see. Definitely the first chapter, at least. And hard to do that without story spoilers. So, just a heads up right now. From here on in, you're looking at spoiler territory. So, get all of our stuff out here. I mean, there's also going to be a non-trivial amount of faffing around with bits here. Okay. Start the campaign by reading the prologue on page 1 of the rulebook. Here it is. All right, let's dig into it, y'all. There's a whole bunch of text. Prologue. The Hall of Elders is nearly empty this time of day, the sun slipping low enough to cast long beams of sunlight across the wooden floors. Brahma sits alone at her desk, finishing reading over a proposal to begin the training of the next generation of mages. Thinking of the young mages makes Brahma think of Desmodia, taken from Gravehold all too soon by her own heroic sacrifice in the battle against Maelstrom. Brahma lets the papers go lax in her grip as she thinks of the horrific events leading up to the fall. She'd considered Zaxos a trusted ally and a close personal friend, but his foolish experimentation with void magic had nearly cost them everything. Brahma has had to bury too many children. She can't let it happen again. It has been more than a month since she learned that there is a traitor mage amongst the Council of Elders. Every member of the council was someone Brahma had trained alongside or mentored personally, and before now, she would have said she trusted them each with her life. But one of them had turned on their brethren and led Necroswarm to attack the southern outpost. Brahma didn't want to believe it, but she was too old to wallow in hopeful delusion. You and me both, Brahma. She trusted Zaxos too, and look where that had gotten her. No more trust. The door to the hall swings open, and Brahma rises from her desk in shock as Zana strolls boldly in. Brahma can barely make out the faces of her companions where they stand, silhouetted dark against the sun. The rest stay at the doorway while Zana approaches. Brahma retrieves her staff from where it sits, leaned against her desk, and goes to meet her halfway. Zana, Brahma begins, her voice betraying nothing. No one has seen you for over a month. Where have you been that was more important than protecting your home? New Gravehold is not my home. Our home was lost decades ago beneath the crumbling earth. Zana rests a hand casually on one of her dual blades, and Brahma is too wise not to consider it a threat. Are you aware that there is a traitor to New Gravehold? Zana stiffens at Brahma's word. I am. Are you aware that you went missing just before that traitor mage was spotted? I am aware of that as well. Brahma leans heavily against her staff. Sometimes her many years feel like too heavy a burden to bear. So you're not going to defend yourself. I didn't come here to defend myself. I came here to explain. Now you sound like Zaxos. Brahma shakes her head, disappointed. Do you think you can justify the lives you took? Zana glares at Brahma, refusing to back down. I'd rather be with Zaxos than with you. At least he's attempting to change things for the better. You are with Zaxos? Brahma raises her eyebrows. Briefly, recently, he took me into the void. Zana sweeps an arm behind her, encompassing the mages standing at the door. He brought all of us, and now I've come here to share what I've learned with you. Brahma, we can't ignore the void or the power there. It is drawing energy from our world, whether we like it or not. I don't know what the answer to humanity's salvation is, but I do know we're more likely to find it if we're not cutting ourselves off from half the resources of our world. The void is what caused all of this in the first place. Brahma strikes her staff on the ground once, the sound ricocheting through the empty chamber. You meddle with dark forces you do not understand. You're putting everyone around you at risk, people I have sworn to protect. Maybe you can accept the people of South Post as acceptable losses for progress, but I cannot. What happened at the outpost was a tragedy, Brahma. A tragedy, Brahma. It wasn't my intention to... If the world ran on good intentions, we would still have Gravehold. Brahma turns away from Zana, walking back towards her desk. You've betrayed me and your fellow mages. You are no longer welcome in New Gravehold. You can't just... Zana trails off. You can't just exile anyone who dares to disagree with you. What about the Council? The Council already ruled anyone that associated with Zaxos presents a real and present danger to this city and should be removed. Be grateful that I am not yet hunting you down for your transgressions. I refuse to allow a threat to New Gravehold to persist. Brahma turns her head, glancing at Zana from the corner of her eyes. You can leave of your own volition, or I can summon your fellow mages to have you removed. Zana's eyes burn with rage. This isn't over, she snaps, before turning around to storm out of the Hall of Elders. Choose to play either the Gravehold or Azer campaign. Then, if you choose Gravehold, open the Gravehold book and begin reading at page 1. If you choose Azer, open the Azer book and begin reading at page 1. Ooh boy. We've got a choice. Are we going to do Azer or Gravehold? What do y'all think, chat? Zana or Brahma looks like the choice here. And then there's a box here that says, if you're familiar with Aeon's End, this will all look familiar. All of the usual rules still apply, but there are also a few new rules. Below is a reference for those new rules. Additionally, new rules will be stickered into the rulebook as the campaign progresses. So we've got fire tokens. 10 fire tokens use the some Nemesis cards. Rules for fire tokens are on page 20. Okay. We've got ether tokens. We already learned about those. We've got crossout, which is new for page 23. Let's see what that is. Some cards will instruct you to cross out a sentence or option on a card. When this happens, use a pen or marker to cover over that text. In the future, when this card is played, you will ignore anything that is crossed out. Okay? Easy enough. We've also got boost and overheat. Those are new. Boost overheat spaces. 2 new terms are introduced in the Legacy of Gravehold. Boost and overheat. They both mean to use a pen or marker to permanently fill in a circle in this section of the card. Boost is a positive effect and improves the card for future future uses. Overheat is a drawback. When a card has too many overheat marks, it will cause you harm. If all the circles are filled, then the card is fully boosted or fully overheated. During setup, order supply piles that contain boost overheat cards so that the copies with the most marks are at the bottom of that supply pile. When you gain cards from a supply pile, you must gain the top card of that supply pile. Interesting. And I think the rest of this is just regular Aeon's End stuff. Obviously, aside from the numerous places for stickers, there appears to be a robot scorpion at some point in here, which is cool. All right. So, what do y'all think? Gravehold or Azer, Zana or Brahma? I'm not, heavily pulled to either one of them. I feel like they both have points. But Zana literally, attacked and killed her own people. So, maybe we'll go with Gravehold. Which, before we get too far into it, let's flip to page 33 and apply this typo sticker while we're thinking about it. Find sticker sheet 2, section 2, and add these enhancements. Oh, hold on. Apply the sticker over the third paragraph on page 33. 1, 2, 3. Find sticker sheet 4. Yep, okay. We're stickering stuff. We're stickering stuff, y'all. We have fixed the typo. And I believe we're ready to get into it. Begin reading on page 1 of the Gravehold narrative book. Okay. Section 1. Really, K dear, you're an adult. Can you try to have a bit of decorum? Malstar takes his wife by the shoulder and pulls her back away from the jewelry display she is rooting energetically through. K-Deer grins. Don't you just find it fascinating how ether can come together in so many unique shapes and forms, contain immense power, and also be so incredibly shiny? Malstar looks over at K-Deer exhausted. You are why our daughter is so gem crazy. K-Deer snickers. Oh, come on. It's taken long enough to get the markets up and running here. We might as well enjoy them. I've missed the dirt market so much. I'm owed a little bit of overindulgence. Fine, Malstar says with a long-suffering sigh. Besides, K-Deer teases, you're the gem-crazy one here. That is entirely on you. My work with gems is purely professional, Malstar huffs, crossing his arms. And I've never caught you cooing over them in your workshop. Malstar's cheeks redden, and he scowls. Giving them little voices, K-Deer continues mockingly. All right, I give in. I'm a little invested in my gems. Malstar wraps an arm around his wife and pulls her into his chest, pressing a kiss to the side of her head. You win. Ah, K-Deer, Malstar, did you come to see the new market too? Malstar and K-Deer look forward to see Gygar standing beside the gigantic metal form of his friend Lost. We did, Malstar replied. Good to see both of you return safe from your trip to the ruins of Gravehold. The excavation process is really coming along, Gygar says, his eyes sparkling. Your daughter is a wonder with a pickaxe. I expect we'll be heading back to rejoin her and Nook out there in a few days. Portal, says Lost, his voice creaking out from beneath the suit of armor encasing his form. Gygar looks up in confusion. What was that, Lost? Portal! Lost repeats more emphatically. K-Deer looks past him and sees a thin purple line cracking through the open air in the middle of the market. Portal! Everybody run! The merchants and market goers start to run as Malstar and K-Deer shoulder their way forward, weapons drawn to face whatever monstrosity is about to come out of the breach. The tear widens until it is a vivid purple swirl, and a figure steps out from it, human-shaped but obscured by draping robes. Is that Zaxos? Gygar turns to K-Deer, mouth gaping. I've heard all kinds of fascinating tales about Zaxos walking out of void breaches. Is that him? It doesn't look like him, K-Deer says slowly. Oh no, certainly not, the figure says, and the voice that comes out of it is unmistakably female. But I must admit, he wasn't entirely on the wrong track. He simply lacked the proper intentions. The creatures of the void are so powerful and so useful. We will show you exactly how dangerous they are capable of becoming. Malstar glances around the deserted square. From behind the woman, liquid purple creatures ooze out of the portal. The children of the void are each unique. You have lived alongside them for centuries, and yet you never even bothered to learn their names. The woman lifts a large black book, the leather cover deeply embossed with glittering silver runes. I, however, know all their names, and I know how to harness them. All right. Well, the market's getting attacked. Open envelope 11. These are your mages for this game. Open deck GH1A. This is your starting supply. Okay, so let's find some stuff. First up, open envelope 11. We've got Lost, Malstar, Gygar, and K-Deer. New versions of all of these people is awesome. These are some of my favorites from old games. Lost is super fun. I'm curious to see how they're all changed. And then we've also got storm tokens and path tokens. I don't know what any of that does. Alright, so we need GH1A and GH1B. And deck B. Also, okay. So GH1A and GH1B. dig those out of the... I don't know what order these things are in here. Alright, nope. GH1A, GH1B. Okay. We also need Envelope 1 and Deck BS. There's BS. Here's Envelope 1. Okay. So let's open all this stuff up and see what we got. Okay. GH1A is our starting supply. So let's look at that. I guess we can get rid of all this stuff for the time being. GH1A is our starting supply. Okay. We'll look more at all of these in a minute or two once we get everything set up here. But this is our starting supply. I'm just going to say right off the bat, Chaos Charm with this weird little gem squirrel. Big fan of that. All right, there's our starting supply. GH1B are our starter cards and turn order cards, along with player aids. Ooh, our crystals all have sticker spots on them. That's fun. All right. Inventions. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so here's our turn order cards. 1122, Nemesis, Nemesis. What are they called? Player aid cards. Not going to need these. We're going to be playing two-handed. Okay, so let's look at what we've got for our starting cards here. Gygar's special spell says, while prepped, once per turn during your main phase, you may gain an ether. Cast, deal 1 damage. What's her name? Malstar? No, not Malstar. K-Deer's starting gem says, gain $1. If you have 4 or more charges, any ally gains a life. Lost's new spell says deal 1 damage or gain $2 that can only be used to gain spells. He also has a bronze ingot, which says gain $1. If there are 5 or more spells in your discard pile, gain an additional $2. Interesting. And Malistar says, gain $1, reveal the top card of the Inventions deck. If it is a relic, gain $1, then put that card on the bottom of that deck. What are these inventions, man? They look wild. Let's look at his Matt here, because I'm very curious about what is going on with those. Malistar says, Burst of Inspiration. Activate during your main phase. Draw a card from the top or bottom of the invention deck and place it into any ally's hand. Ooh. K-Deer uses these, where'd they go? Path tokens. So any ally draws 2 cards, casting a prep spell, it deals 2 additional damage. You and an ally may each destroy a card in hand or discard pile. Any ally gains 2 charges. Gravehold gains 3 life. So, just some nice little effects. K-Deer uses those. Either choose a side of a path token that is not on your mat and place it on your mat, or flip over one of the path tokens on your mat. Then, if you have 4 path tokens on your mat, set one aside. Resolve all of the path tokens on your mat in any order. Interesting. Deal damage equal to the number of spells in your discard pile. So Lost seems like pure damage this time around, instead of upgrading his cards and stuff. Gygar, I'm going to guess, uses these storm tokens, but I don't see how he uses them. Does he have setup instructions? At the end of your casting phase, place a storm token on each of your prep spells. When a spell is cast, it deals +1 damage for each storm token on it. Each spell can have no more than 3 storm tokens on it. Interesting. Interesting. I think we're going to take Lost and Malistar. I definitely want to play Lost, because I really liked him in the original. The question then is, are we going to play as K-Deer or Malistar? What was K-Deer's special gem here? Deal 2 damage. Malistar focuses a breach. Gain $4. Malistar may gain a card that costs 4 or less from any supply. Attaches to any player's breach. When a spell is cast from that breach, player who casts that spell gains a charge, and Malistar gains a charge. Man, these are all incredibly good. Gain a charge or destroy a card in hand or discard pile. Repeat this twice. Malistar gains an ether token. Deal 6 damage. Malistar may draw 2 cards. If he does, he discards 2 cards. Any ally draws 3 cards, then discards a card in. Then they discard a card in hand. Malistar draws a card. While prepped at the start of your casting phase, you may reveal the top card of your deck. You may destroy the revealed card. Deal 5 damage. Malistar may destroy a card in hand or discard pile. Wow. I mean, these inventions are like wildly good. I don't know. I mean, they all seem fun. I think we're gonna take Lost just because he's fun. Thematically, I really like him. K-Deer starts with 4 crystals and a spark. 3 crystals, 3 crystals, 2 sparks. Alright, so it's down to either Malistar or K-Deer. I think we're going to take K-Deer and leave Malistar for later. So we need these path tokens. Okay. Right. And we'll get our starting stuff up here. 3 crystals, 1 ancient emerald, 1 spark, and then 4 crystals and 1 spark. Okay. Then we've got 3 crystals, a molten forge, and a spark. 2 crystals, a bronze ingot, and 2 sparks. Okay. Put the rest of this over here with our other mages that we're not using currently. Alright, we also need envelope 1, the Bishop of Scrolls. Bishop of Scrolls, yep. Okay. Place the unnamed deck face down next to this mat. Place an unnamed into play and resolve its immediately effect. Place another unnamed into play and resolve its immediately effect. In a 1, 2, or 3 player game, place a third unnamed into play and resolve its immediately effect. There's a bunch of flavor text here. Alright, so let's open up the cards for the Bishop of Scrolls here. Alright. Set aside the top 9 cards of that deck. This is the unnamed deck. Those cards are the unnamed deck. The remaining cards are the Nemesis deck. If you're playing a 1, 2, or 3 player game, discard the top 7, 5, or 3 cards. So we need to discard the top 5 cards of this in a 2-player game. We've got a new minion there. When this is discarded, banish it. This minion suffers damage equal to the number of players in the game. Gravehold and any player each suffer damage. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. And then we've got our Nemesis deck here. Shuffle up our turn order deck. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Turn order deck right there. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, there's our deck. Here's our starting hand. We're going to need our breaches too. Grab those in just a second. 3 crystals, ancient emerald, spark. Right. Grab my breaches here. And we're almost set up and ready to roll here. Assuming I can actually get my breaches out of this little rubber bandy thing they're in. Alright, so 4, 4, 4. None of these guys have special breaches, so alright. Breach 1, breach 2, breach 3, breach 4. Easy enough. Lost starts with 2 open. Two like that. All right. So, we do need life counters. We're each starting with 10 life. We also are going to need my sack of player bits from my other copy. Let me grab that real quick. It's got the little player order tokens and etc. in it. Give me 1 sec. Let me grab that. All right. So this has got player order tokens and charge counters and stuff in it. Presumably we could get that out of the new copy as well, but save ourselves some punching and stuff. Put our path tokens right here just so we can sort of look at them, I guess. All right, and I think we're set up to roll. Oh, hold on. We need our life wheels and whatnot. 50 for the Nemesis and 30 for Gravehold. I guess I can go up there. Or actually, put both of those up there. Okay. So, we're going to look at exactly what the Bishop of Scrolls does. We're going to look at the cards in our starting market, and then we're going to start. We're going to get on into it here. So, Bishop of Scrolls. 50 life, difficulty of 2, setup. Place an unnamed into play and resolve its immediately effect 3 times. Okay. Whoa. That's a weird effect. Okay. We're going to need a Sharpie. I got a Sharpie right here. That's also going to require us to open some packs and stuff. This guy is a minion, 3 health. Says immediately choose a 5-letter name and write it here. Open deck E and read card L2EO2. Are they all like that? Wow. You're choosing names for these guys, I guess. Okay, so let me find deck E real quick. Open deck E. Okay, so we're going to come back to that in a second because that's wild. Let's look at the cards in our market first. We've got a 3-cost gem, Scrying Sugalite. Gain $2. You may reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a spell, gain an additional $1. Cobalt Clump, gain $2. The next time you gain a card that costs $5 or more this turn, silence a minion. Ether Dust, gain $2. Each ally gains an ether token. All right, we are going to need ether tokens. So I'll punch some of those out real quick. Probably going to need the fire tokens before too long, but we'll punch those out when they actually become necessary. Eventually, we're going to start this game. But, getting into it, there's a lot of setup, obviously. I think this is, like 20-some chapters long also, so, little setup now will serve us well in the future. Okay. So we got our ether tokens punched out. Put those in a bowl here. Probably going to need to rework my little token thing here to make room for like fire tokens and whatnot. But for now, we got it just like that. I need to move the turn order deck somewhere. Anyway, we'll work it out. Okay. Ether Dust. Gain $2. Each ally gains an ether token. Seems good. Electrum Rod. Any player may focus one of their breaches. If that player has a prepped spell that costs $5 or more, gain a charge. Okay. Chaos Charm. 2 different players may destroy a card in hand. You may destroy this. If you do, remove a fire token from your location on the map. Okay. Well, we haven't learned anything about fire tokens yet, so, On to our spells. Grassblade is a 2-cost spell. You may destroy this from your hand during any ally's main phase. If you do, draw a card. Cast, deal 2 damage. Fractured Lightning. Deal 5 damage. Reveal the top card of the Nemesis deck. If it is an attack or power, overheat this card. If this card is fully overheated, destroy it and the Nemesis unleashes. Ooh. Okay. Cascade, deal 3 damage. You may return a card that costs $4 or less from your discard pile to your hand. Rainbow Surge, deal 5 damage. If this causes a minion to be discarded, boost this. Gain 1 life for each boost mark on this. Okay. So that'll let us heal if we kill minions with it. It is quite expensive. Our path tokens here. Heal. Cast any prep spell for extra damage. Allies collectively prep up to 2 spells to their opened or closed breaches. Any ally draws 2 cards. Any ally gains 2 charges. Gravehold gains 3 life. You and any ally may destroy a card in hand or discard pile. Gain a card from the supply that costs $5 or less. The only way we can do that is by filling up our charges down here, it looks like. Right? Because this is just sparks charges. Yep, okay. So, Kadier wants charges pretty badly, it looks like. Was anything up here providing charges? Electrum might provide charges, but that looks like basically it. Okay. Right, so we're going to do some unnamed stuff now. This says, immediately choose a 5-letter word and write it here. Okay. 5-letter word, I'm going to choose ornate. Open deck E and read card L2 EO2. All right. I've got deck E. L2 EO2, Metamorphosis Event. Write the name you chose for card L2 BS41 on card L2 EO3. If that name starts with a vowel, cross out the first persistent effect on card L2 EO3. Otherwise, cross out the second persistent effect. Then place that card under the Bishop of Scrolls Nemesis mat. Banish card L2 BS41. Weird. Okay. So, we're writing orate here. That does start with a vowel, so we cross out the first persistent effect. Place this card under the Bishop of Scrolls Nemesis mat. Okay. Banish card L2BS41. L2BS41 is banished. Okay. We're doing the top 3 here. This says, immediately, if there is no name below, choose a 6-letter name and ready here. Okay. Is that all we need? Huh, okay. So I think that's all we need from this deck right now. So I'll just put it up here, I guess. This one says, choose a 6-letter word, choose a 6-letter name, and ready here. I'm going to choose, what's a good 6-letter word? This is weird, man. I mean, it's cool. What's a good 6-letter word? I'm gonna name this guy Threat. THREAT. Okay. He's in play here. And then we do a third one. Immediately, if there's no name below, choose a 5-letter name and ready here. Okay. Another 5-letter word, huh? I'm going to name this guy Ender. And both of these guys' persistent effect is write one of their name letters on the top, and then once that goes off, you read a card from this E deck, and stuff happens, presumably. Okay. So that is the end of this guy's setup, right? Yeah. When an unnamed is placed into play, do not resolve its persistent effect during the Nemesis main phase this turn. When an unnamed is discarded, place it in the unnamed discard pile. When the unnamed deck is empty and an unnamed would be drawn, shuffle the unnamed discard pile face down to form a new unnamed deck. If there are no cards in the unnamed deck or discard pile when an unnamed would be drawn, resolve the persistent effect of each unnamed in play. If there are no unnamed cards in play, no cards in the unnamed discard pile, and no cards in the unnamed deck, the players lose. At the end of the game, if there are 8 or more cards under this mat, randomly banish cards until there are 7 cards remaining. At the end of the game, if there are fewer than 5 cards under this mat, resolve the persistent effect of the unnamed with the most letters in its name until there are 5 cards under this mat. At the end of the game, once there are 5 to 7 cards under this mat, place all of the cards under this mat into envelope 15 and reseal the envelope. Wild. Okay. So I guess this guy's coming back, huh? All right, well, we're set up, and there's weird stuff going on. So we need immediate damage, huh? All right. We're set up, so let's go. Up first in the turn order is the Nemesis. Okay. Well, great. So we write a T here and an E here. Then also this happens. Impending Immolation. Power 2. To discard, spend 6. Power 2, unleash, Gravehold suffers 3 damage, add a fire token to your location on the map. Okay, well, we haven't learned about the map yet. Right? I don't think we've learned about the map. I don't know. I guess we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so the Nemesis has gone. Next, player 2 gets to go, which is Kadir. Kadir certainly preps her spark here, and then has $4 and no charges. We need immediate damage. Does Lost have any immediate damage? He's got 2 immediate damage on his next turn. So we've got $4, which could buy Fractured Lightning, which says deal 5 damage, or we could buy 2 Grass Blades, or yeah, I don't know what the or is. I guess we could get 2 charges and start trying to work on our charge game, but I feel like we need damage right now. I don't know. I don't know, gang. Buy a gem, I guess. Cobalt Clump lets us silence minions. I guess we'll buy a Cobalt Clump. Cobalt Clump goes here. And our other cards go here. Player 1 gets to go, which is Lost. Lost certainly preps his 2 spells. And then we've got $3. Lost wants spells. Lost wants a lot of spells, is the gist of it. Is what it looks like. So, I think we're going to buy a Scrying Sugalite. First off, because this gives us an additional $1 if we have a lot of spells, basically. Player 2 goes again. We deal 1 damage to... yeah, we should have put life on these guys. We deal 1 damage to this guy. And then we prep our 1 spark, and we've got 4 more bucks. I guess we just buy another Cobalt Clump and go Econ on Kadir over here. Okay. The Nemesis goes again. So we lose 1 of these. We get an H on Threat, and we get an N on Ender. And also, Dire Proclamation. Power 2. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. If there are 2 or less unnamed in play, unleash twice. Otherwise, resolve the persistent effects of 2 unnamed in play twice. Ugh. Okay. Player 1 goes to finish off the turn order. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so we're going to cast our 2 spells to do 2 damage and kill this unnamed. Prep those there. Says if we have 5 or more spells in our discard pile, gain an additional $2. We've only got 2, so we need to get some spells. We've got $3, which is not enough to buy any of these spells, basically. I think we just buy another Scrying Sugalite. Call it a day on that one. Get our engine built up here. So shuffle up the turn order deck. We'd really like player 1 and 2 to go before the Nemesis goes again, so we can kill Threat before he gets another letter. But, you know, we'll see how that goes, I guess. I've got a guess on how that's going to go. The Nemesis goes again is how that's going to go. All right, so we get an R on there. We lose this, and we lose this. This says Unleash. Gravehold suffers 3 damage, down to 27. Add a fire token to your location on the map. We haven't actually learned the rules for that. I guess we're in New Gravehold. That's where the story's taking place. So we'll punch the fire tokens real quick. And, you know, presumably there will be instructions on that at some point in the future. But we'll put 1 fire token up here right now. Get ourselves a bowl for our fire tokens. Hopefully we won't be using that many more of them, but, you know, we'll see. Also, we have to unleash, which says draw a card from the unnamed deck and place it in play. Okay. Discard pile up here. Immediately, if there's no name below, choose a 4-letter name and write it here. All right. What's a good name for this 4-letter word? We'll call him Nova. Okay. Also, we flip another card here. Fevered Scribe. We're stacking up on minions here. Immediately, unleash. This minion suffers damage equal to the number of players in the game. Persistent. Any player suffers 1 damage. Resolve the persistent effect of an unnamed in play twice. Okay, so we get another guy. He's got a shield token. And we need a 5-letter word to name this guy. And this guy immediately takes 2 damage. We're really we're stacking up cards here, which is unfortunate. We need to do some damage to these guys. So this guy needs a 5-letter word. We'll name him Water. Actually, we'll name him Under. Okay. Player 1 goes. We do 2 damage to this guy, I guess. Prep a Spark. Scrying Sugalite says, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a spell, gain an additional $1. It is a spell. So we've got $3, $4, $5, $6. which I think is going to be buying a Cascade, which says deal 3 damage. You may return a card that costs 4 or less from your discard pile to your hand. That'll let us cycle our spells back into hand. Okay. Player 1 goes again. We spark and kill threat. Get out of here. Two, three, four, five. All right. We prep our Molten Forge. 2. We reveal the top card of our deck. It's a spell. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6. $6, huh? Just buy another Cascade, I guess. If we're buying Cascades, we also need cheaper spells. So maybe we buy 2 2 Grass Blades and 1 Spark. I don't know about going in on Fractured Lightning, just because I don't really like the overheating aspect of that. It seems dubious. Although, I mean, I guess we could buy 1 Fractured Lightning and a charge. I mean, it's 5 damage. Which seems pretty useful, actually. We're going to stick on 2 Grass Blades. Okay. The Nemesis goes again. So this goes off, which says Gravehold suffers 3 damage, down to 24. There are 2 or less unnamed in play, unleash twice. Otherwise, resolve the persistent effect of 2 unnamed in play twice. Okay. So we get an NO there. We get a UN here. Then this guy gets a V. Fevered Scribe. Any player suffers 1 damage, resolve the persistent effect of an unnamed in play twice. Okay, so we'll do 1 here, down to 9. And we'll choose this minion, which is going to pop his thing off. Dire Proclamation goes away also. And then we're also going to get a D here. Okay, so this says, if the name is complete, read card L2E08. Okay. Metamorphosis. Write the name you chose on card L2E09. If that name starts with a letter that is contained in any player's initials, write a 2 in the blank, in the persistent, otherwise write a 3. Wow, weird. Okay. Okay. And this guy lives underneath this player mat now. And then this card is banished because he got named. He got named Nova. Okay. Interesting. And then also, this happens. Consume says unleash. We put this guy into play. A shield and a 3, and we need to choose a 5-letter word. Any player suffers 2 damage and discards a card. That card costs 2 or less. Add a fire token to your... okay. Alright, so we're getting into some damage, at least, which is nice. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll toss a crystal for Kadir, and she can take 2 damage. We do add a fire token, which is great. Fire tokens seem like they're probably great. Alright, so we need to do some damage. Also, we need to name this unnamed. Another 5-letter word. What's a good 5-letter word? We'll name him Major. Alright, great. Everything's cool. Player 2 goes. We're going to cast Spark. And take... actually, you know what? We're going to cast Spark and do 1 damage to this guy. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Got $5. And the next time we gain a card that costs $5 or more this turn, we get to silence a minion, which is great. We're certainly going to silence this guy. And I think we're going to take... we could take a Chaos Charm, which will let us remove fire tokens. It's also got this excellent lost little gem squirrel buddy on it. Or we could take an Ether Dust, which would give Lost money. I don't know that Lost needs more money, really. Yeah, I think we'll take an Ether Dust. Okay. And player 2 goes again. We prep our Spark. We've also got $5 more and another Cobalt Clump, which is going to let us silence another one of these guys. I think we'll silence Under. And buy something that costs 5. I guess we'll go ahead and get a Chaos Charm. Although... yeah, we'll get a Chaos Charm. Okay. Nah, you know what? We'll get another Ether Dust. Just go full money. Okay. Shuffle up the turn order deck here. And hopefully get some... damage out here. So we can kill a couple of these minions before they continue to do the things that they like to do. Write things on cards, etc. Player 2 goes again. Alright, so we cast our Spark. And we'll take the shield off of this guy. Prep our Spark here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6. $6, and Lost gets an Ether token. And we're also going to get to silence this last guy. So no one gets to do anything on the next minion turn, which is nice. Gives us a little bit of breathing room here. I guess we'll take a Fractured Lightning. Or we could start getting these path tokens, I guess. One of our cards also does something good if we have a bunch of charges, right? Do we have that next turn? You have 4 or more charges, any ally gains a life. Yeah, we're not super hurting on life at the moment. So I think we need to get spells and start doing some damage. So we're going to take a Cascade. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll take a Cascade. Okay. Player 1 goes. We deal 1 damage to this guy. Oh, hold on. We've already got our hand here. We've got not a spell. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got $4, which is enough to focus this breach, which lets us prep these spells. The end. All right. The Nemesis goes. All of these guys are like, what on earth just happened? They all wake up. And also, a Coal Whelp shows up, who has 2 shield tokens, which is annoying. 3 life, and his persistent effect is add a fire token to your location on the map. Well, we're going to stack some fire tokens, is what it looks like to me. Interesting. Okay. The Nemesis goes again, which is deeply annoying. Okay. Any player suffers 1 damage. It's fine. Resolve the persistent effects of an unnamed in play twice. Okay. Put an M and an A there. Put an E here. Put a J there. And get 2 more fire tokens. Sorry. 1 more fire token from this guy. Annoying. All right, player 2 goes. We're going to spark and take one of these shields off of here. We've got $2, $4, $6, $7. And Lost gets that. $7 is going to get a Rainbow Surge, definitely, right? Okay. Player 1 goes. And he's got $3. So first off, we spark and remove this, and then we also kill this guy. No more fire, please. And then we've got 1 more spark, which I guess just takes this guy down to 1. So that's all of these. Cast. We've got $3, which is enough to focus this breach. So we can prep our 3 spells. That's all we got for Lost. We really need Lost to go next, if at all possible. Or Lost needs to go before the Nemesis goes again, is the gist of it, right? Or the Nemesis could just go right now. That works too. So both of these guys are going to fill out their stupid names. R and OR. And then we're going to get another card. But first, we have to read card E10 and E12. Okay. All right. So we write under on this guy. Under. And it says the name contains the letters EL and RST. Cross out the first persistent effect. Otherwise, cross out the second persistent effect. All right, so we're crossing off the first one. And this guy lives under that mat. And this guy goes away. And then card 12. Okay. So we write major here. The name contains 5 unique letters. Write 3 in the blank in the persistent and 10 in the life section. Otherwise, write 4 and 7. Okay. 3 and 10. I really was hoping we'd get to kill some of those guys since we did silence them all and stuff, but the turn order did not want to work out that way for us. Also, this shows up. It says Unleash. Any player suffers 2 damage. Resolve the persistent effect of an unnamed in play twice. Okay. Unleash puts this guy into play. Someone suffers 2 damage. Lost can take it. It's fine. We also haven't punched this guy even once yet. So, resolve the persistent effect of an unnamed to play twice. Okay, so we're going to name this guy Whelp. And then he gets a W and an H. Ay. Okay, well, stuff's happening. Player 2 gets to go. We've got $3 and 2 spells, which certainly looks a lot like focusing this and prepping our 2 spells. This Cascade I have not timed correctly, because every time it goes off, I don't have anything in my discard pile, is the downside of it. Player 2 goes again. So we're going to Spark, definitely, and kill this guy. This guy was real bad. Then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6, and Lost gets that. So I can focus Actually, maybe Lost doesn't get that. I mean, I can open this and just prep this into it. Call it a day. That's probably what we do. Get some extra damage pumping here. Alright, player 1 gets to go. We remove this and kill this guy with our spells. Get out of here. Molten Forge goes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got $5. Do we have 5 or more spells in our discard pile? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, we do. We get an extra $2, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7. I think $7 means get a Rainbow Search. Okay. Nemesis goes again, and he says, "Where are all of my guys?" Devil's Pact. There's a lot of text on this. As long as there are at least 2 options remaining on this card, cross out the option you choose after resolving this card. Gravehold suffers 5 damage, or any player suffers 5 damage, or the players discard the 3 most expensive prepped spells, or unleash twice, the players collectively lose 3 charges. That's brutal. See what our next turns are looking like here. Spicy. This one's spicy. This is a cool card. We really need to start putting damage on this guy. Like, we were trying to handle this whole situation, but, like, we got to start punching this guy immediately. Alright. I guess, I don't know. Gravehold can take some damage, it's fine. Gravehold's down to 19. This card is going to be brutal once there are only 2 things left, because they're going to be the 2 that we didn't want to take previously, right? Alright, player 1 goes. We cast this to deal a damage. We're on the board, y'all. He's down to 49. We prep this, we prep this. We've got $3, which focuses this, and we prep Cascade in it. Yeah, okay. Easy enough. Board Gamer Steph, welcome in, friend. It is being wonky, so I can't really hear anything. It's just spinning for me. I wanted to stop and express my love for Aeons and Legacy. Nice. Yeah, this is this is the brand new Legacy of Gravehold. Just came in the mail today, so I unboxed it earlier and just started up. This is the first chapter of it, and I'm super, super, super excited to play it. Everything in there looks super cool so far. So, welcome in. I plan to stream the entire campaign, so you know, if you want to hang out for any part of that, you're more than welcome. Obviously, there will be spoilers, but you know, yeah, I was very excited to get it in the mail today. This is one of my favorite games. Hey, look, the Nemesis goes again. Great. Everything's going great. Otherling. Okay. He's got 10 hit points. Seems like too many hit points, but that's fine. When this is discarded, banish this. Persistent unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage. Okay. Great. Player 1 goes. We're going to do 5 damage to this guy right off the bat. We also get to return a card that costs four or less from our discard pile to our hand. Which looks like a Scrying Sugalite to me. We've got $4, $5. $5 is enough to open this breach. And then we prep some spells into it. And that's the end of that. Yeah, Steph, thanks so much for stopping in. I always love seeing you come through. So we've got 5 damage right here, so we're going to kill this guy because he seemed bad. And he gets banished when we kill him. Okay. We also get to return a card that costs 4 or less from our discard pile. So let's see what our options are. Probably a Cobalt Clump. So we're going to prep a Rainbow Surge here. And then we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bucks. And Lost gets an Ether token. $8, huh? $8 probably just buys another Rainbow Surge, right? I mean, buy the big guns when you can buy them, right? Okay. Player 1 goes 2, 4, 6 damage to the Nemesis, down to 43. Hopefully we're turning the corner here because we certainly have not been doing a lot of damage to our friend so far. So we prep our Rainbow Surge here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7. I mean, again, I feel like $7 just says buy a Rainbow Surge, right? Put it there. Yeah. I feel like $7 just says buy Rainbow Surges if they're available. So that's what we'll do. And we will hopefully be able to pop a couple of Chaos Charms. Alright, so we do 6 damage. Down to 37. Not the most impactful hand I've ever seen. Prep a Spark. Buy 2 charges, I guess. And let me okay. I think the Nemesis is up next. Yep, the Nemesis says, where'd all my friends go? To discard 4 cards from your hand. Unleash twice, Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Banish this. Would have loved for that to come out previously when I had those 4 crystals in hand. I would have said, I'm totally fine with that. Got a spicy hand here. Sadly, don't have enough open breaches to prep all these spells, but c'est la vie. Okay. Shuffle up the old Nemesis deck here. Turn order deck, rather. player 1 goes first. Is player 1 just discarding 4 cards to get rid of this garbage? First off, we're going to do 6 damage with our Rainbow Surge. There. We can power these cards up with by killing minions, but there aren't any minions around for us to kill. I think we're going to prep Cascade here, and then discard 4 cards. To get rid of this Collapsing Comet. And player 1 goes again. Alright, so we cast Cascade to deal 4 damage. Down to 27. Which lets us return something that costs 4 or less from our discard pile to our hand. It's probably just a Spark. Do we have enough open breaches? We do. Yeah, it's just going to be a Spark. It's fine. Because that lets us prep a Spark and 2 Grass Blades, and then we've got $4, $5. It's enough to buy 1 Chaos Charm, and hopefully get some of these fire tokens removed. The Nemesis goes. Gravehold suffers 4 damage, down to 15. If there are 2 or more unnamed in play, resolve the persistent effects of 2 unnamed in play twice, otherwise unleash twice. Okay, so we're going to get our final 2 unnamed into play here. 3 life each, 1 with a shield token. And one's a 4-letter name and one's a 5-letter name. This guy is going to be named Cram with a K. This guy is going to be named... I'm running out of good 5-letter words here. I play enough Wordle, you would think I wouldn't run out, but... We're going to name this guy Beans. What up, Beans? Okay. Player 2 goes. Cast this Spark to do 2 damage here. Actually, you know what? We'll cast this Spark to remove this, right? I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll cast a Spark to do 2 damage there. Then, prep a Spark, prep a Cascade here, and we've got $4 and Lost gets his thing back. $4 I think is going to be 2 charges. Probably 2 charges. Okay. Player 2 goes again. Alright, we got $7 and a Rainbow Surge. Okay, so, Cascade. Ooh, okay. Annoyingly, we can't kill all of these guys. We can kill this Beans. Actually, we'll take... yeah, we'll kill Beans. We do 1 to remove the thing, and then Cascade kills this one. Or kills the rest of the hit points. Get out of here, Beans. No one got time for you. We also get to return a card that costs 4 less from our discard pile to our hand. What do we got? A bunch of crystals. A bunch of sparks. Probably just a spark. Just so we can keep some damage going, you know? Prep our spells. We've got 2, 4, 6, $7. Which gets us a Chaos Charm and our final Spark. We could pop our Sparks right now to do one of these things. Does any of that actually matter right now? Player gains life. Cast any prepped spell. It deals 2 additional damage. Ooh, okay. We'll go ahead and pop this off. Which will let... where'd it go? We'll put this path token here, which says cast any prepped spell, it deals 2 additional damage. We'll cast this Spark, it's fine. And kill this unnamed, just to get him out of there. Just because we can, right? The Nemesis goes, so it's a good thing that we did that. So Cram doesn't get to write anything. 4 shield tokens. Seems like an excessive amount of shield tokens. He loses 2 because we're in a 2-player game, and he's got 8 hit points. And he adds fire tokens, which is bad. I bought a couple of Chaos Charms, so hopefully we'll be able to kill some of the fire tokens off of our location before the game ends. But, you know, we got to cycle back through to them. If Lost gets to go and then Kadir gets to go before the Nemesis gets to go, we can kill the Pale Reckoner before he does anything. That's a lot of ifs, though. A lot of ifs, ands, or buts there. Well, we're halfway there. So we remove these 2 shield tokens and do 2 damage. So this guy's down to 6. Then we prep some spells, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7 to buy spells, or $5 for whatever else. I think $5 says buy another Chaos Charm. And hopefully we get to use it. Alright, I need this to say player 2. Well, it's player 1 again. Player 1 also works. Rainbow Surge kills this guy. 6 damage. It also lets us put a mark on this because it discards a minion, and then we heal a life. We also do 1 damage to the boss. Prep our spells. $2 buys a charge. The end. The Nemesis goes, and he says, y'all keep killing all my minions. I don't like it. Power 2. 2 discards, spend $7. Unleash twice. If there are 3 or less fire tokens on your location on the map, add a fire token to your location on the map. Otherwise, unleash. Okay. Nemesis goes again. What an absolute jerk. Any player discards 3 cards in hand and suffers 2 damage. Then banish this. Probably got someone who doesn't care about discarding some cards. Discard 3 cards and suffer 2 damage. Discard 3 cards and take 2 damage. Down to 6. Easy enough. Then banish Foggy Miasma. Okay. Player 2 goes. Rainbow Surge does 6 damage. Down to 20. Prep another Rainbow Surge. We get $1. Okay. Player 2 goes again. 6 more damage to the face. Did we draw a Chaos Charm? Be nice if we did. Nope. Prep a Spark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we give $1 to Lost. $5. We'll buy a Chaos Charm. Just, on the off chance we get to use it. Seems unlikely that this guy will live long enough for us to be able to use all these Chaos Charms, but, it'd be nice if he does. Or it would be nice if we get to use them. Not if he stays around and does bad stuff to us, right? We don't necessarily need him sticking around and doing a ton more nonsense to us. All right, player 2. We found a Chaos Charm. Okay, so this does 2 damage. Down to 12. 2, 4, 6. We're $1 short of being able to stop the spreading Inferno, which is sad. 2 different players may destroy a card in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know that we really care, honestly, at this point, but, whatever. We'll destroy Crystal from Lost's hand. There's no way that matters. It's fine, whatever. We are going to destroy this Chaos Charm to remove 1 fire token. And then we've got, we prep a Cascade. We've got $6. This is gone. And I guess we just buy the final Chaos Charm on the off chance somehow we're still... Actually, you know what? No, that doesn't make sense. We'll buy 3 charges. She has relevant things she can do with her charges, certainly. Okay. The Nemesis goes. Unleash twice and add a fire token. Okay. We shuffle these guys up and get 2 of them back. We get Cram and we get Threat. Also, we get Memory Tithe. Power 1, spend $7. Easy enough. Okay. Player 1 gets to go. 6, 7, 8. We can do 8 damage right now. We're also going to destroy a Chaos Charm to remove 1 of these fire tokens. Yeah. We're going to do 8 damage to the boss, putting him down to 4. We've got $4 to buys us 2 charges. We can use those to immediately do 3 more damage. Actually, we're going to buy this grass blade. Is there anything to gain from staying in for more time? Chaos Charm, we could Chaos Charm on Lost's next turn. And get rid of 1 more fire token. We got a 1 in 3 chance of that happening. It doesn't look like anything super bad will happen. Actually, you know what? Forget it. We're not gambling. We're just going to go ahead and fire off Lost's ability. Since we bought that Grass Blade, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spells in our discard pile, which does 4 damage and kills the Bishop of Scrolls. Alright, so we ended up with 4 cards under there, which is less than 5, so we need to put 1 more in there. We do the one that has the most letters on it, which is this threat. Which says read card L2 EO4. Okay, so L2 EO4 says write the name on the card. So threat. Then write the number of vowels in the name in the blank in persistent. So Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Subtract the number in the blank from 14, write that number in the life section of that card. So he's got 12 life. Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Okay. At the end of the game, if there are 8 or more cards under this mat, randomly banish cards until there are 7 cards remaining. If there are less than 5, do the thing that we just did. Then take these 5 guys, put them in envelope 15, and reseal the envelope. So we got Threat, Nova, Orate, Under, and Major. Okay. They're going into number 15. Which is presumably when this jerk comes back. Yeah, spoilers. Bishop returned. So he comes back at some point. She comes back is what I should say. Since it was noted that it was a lady. Okay. Where'd the Gravehold book go? Okay. We have defended Gravehold from the Bishop of Scrolls. If you won your game versus the Bishop of Scrolls, read section 80. If you lost, read section 25. Okay. Section 80. Enough! The masked woman grabs the nearest void creature by the viscous scruff of its neck and drags it backwards. Enough, she repeats again, staring down each of the mages. In spite of the fierce battle, she doesn't even appear winded, although it's difficult to tell through the heavy covering obscuring her face. You're stronger than I anticipated, I'll give you that. Clearly, this isn't going to be enough to properly challenge you. Who are you, Malistar demands, stepping forward. Are you a mage? Are you one of us? One of you, the woman shakes her head and laughs. Ha, what a backwards question. When I am done, all will be united. With a loud crack, the masked figure snaps her book shut and leaps back into the void portal alongside her menagerie of monsters. Before the mages can react, the rift narrows to a single point and then winks out of existence. Record this game on the back of this booklet, write the number of fires on the new Gravehold location on the map, then discard all fire tokens. Read section 74. Okay? Where'd my Sharpie go? Gravehold, right. Game number 1. Affiliation Gravehold, Nemesis, Bishop of Scrolls. Passage number read at the beginning of the fight, number 1. Location, Gravehold, I guess? Result, win, number of fires, 2. Passage number read at the end of the fight, 80. Okay. Read, what was next? Read section 74. What happened here? What's going on? Kater turns around to see Brahma hurrying up as fast as she can through the marketplace, leaning heavily on her staff. There was a breach, Kater explains. A strange woman came through it. Probably another mage gone mad from void power. She appeared human, even though she could control the Nameless. We managed to fight her off, but she escaped. She said she's gathering more power in order to unite us. Brahma's eyes widen. Zana! Zana is back. She was in the void with Zaxos. She's the traitor mage, as well as one of his power-hungry followers. I exiled her only a few hours ago, and now she must be continuing her plan to overthrow New Gravehold. We know she has the ability to control Nameless. She did the same thing when she was attacking our southern outpost. And she has found some new mages somewhere who must be able to do the same. I didn't recognize the people with her. Perhaps she's discovered an entirely new force of recruits, enough to overwhelm our defenses. Why would she do that? Gygar recoils. Send monsters into a crowd of civilians. That's awful. There can only be one explanation. Brahma sets her staff firmly in the ground. This is a declaration of war. War, Kater breathes out, taking Malstar's hand. Don't we already have enough troubles without mages fighting mages? Brahma's stern expression softens. I don't like it any more than you do, but if it's true, we cannot be caught undefended. You four, take your accoutrement for battle. Take what accoutrement for battle you can salvage from the marketplace and go find what mages you can. We need to consolidate our forces here in New Gravehold. Brahma not coming? Lost asks. New Gravehold needs a leader and a defender if worse comes to worse. Besides, Brahma looks sadly down at her staff. I would only slow you down. You can count on us. Malstar steps forward. New Gravehold is our home. We're not going to let it go without a fight. If you're playing with 1 or 2 players, banish all of the Tier 2 basic cards from the Nemesis deck. Okay. Let's do that real quick. 2, 2, 2. Two. All banished. Set aside the remaining upgraded basic tier 2 and tier 3 cards and all of the basic tier 1 and 3 cards that weren't already banished. Open deck GH1C. Add all of the upgraded basic Nemesis cards to the Nemesis cards you have set aside. You'll always use as many upgraded Nemesis cards as possible in building the Nemesis deck going forward. Be sure to follow the rules regarding the end of the game on the Nemesis mat, then banish the Bishop of Scrolls Nemesis mat and all remaining Nemesis-specific cards. If there were 5 or more fire tokens, banish cards GH1C 27 through 31. If there were 8 or more, also banish 22 through 26. Add any remaining cards from this deck to your Gravehold Barracks, along with your supply cards from Game 1. Okay, so let's do that real quick. Before we do that, let's sort all this stuff back out. Just to do it. This seems awesome so far. Alright, so Crassblade, Rainbow Surge. We didn't get as much healing out of Rainbow Surge as I would have thought we would with so many of those unnamed guys floating around, but you know. Yeah, we popped off 2 of those. So, I mean, we kept the fire to 2, which we only got penalized if it was at, like, what, 5 or 6 or 7 or something. So I feel pretty good about that. Alright, so that's all sorted out. Starting cards sorted out. Okay. So let me see. Right, so set aside the remaining upgraded basic tier 2 and 3 cards and all of the basic tier 1 and 3 cards that were not already banished. Okay. Void Strays. Looks cool. Ooh, that's a cool looking art. I really like the art in this game, just sort of generally. Okay, so here are our 1, 2, 2. Did we? There must be a level 2 card that we banished earlier or something. Okay, so that stuff's all banished. Open deck GH1C. GH1C. All right. Add all the upgraded basic Nemesis cards to the Nemesis cards you have set aside. Okay, so there's a 1. There's a 2, 2. Wow. Magma Lord Zala. Pretty cool looking art. More level 3 cards. That's our Nemesis deck currently. Banish the Bishop of Scrolls Nemesis mat and all remaining Nemesis specific cards. Done. We did not have 5 or more fire tokens, so we get all of the remaining cards. Experience. Ooh. Okay. So we get these cards into our barracks. We'll look at those in a second. We also get find Sticker Sheet 1 Section 2 and Sticker Sheet 3 Section 1 in the Insights folder. Sticker, Rulebook, stickers A, B, C, and D into your rulebook. Experience and enhancements, and read them. Your group gains 4 experience per player. Ooh. If you won this game and there were 2 or fewer fire tokens, you get 2 additional experience per player. Ooh. So we get 6 each. So getting rid of that 1 gave us 2 more experience each. You gotta love that. Okay, so we're gonna sticker up some stuff. Sticker sheet 1 and sticker sheet 3. Sticker sheet 1. Here. Sticker sheet 3. Here. Sticker rulebook. Stickers A, B, C, and D into the rulebook. I guess that's these things. Oh, no, here we go. Okay. A, B, D, C. Okay, got it. Stickering up the rule book. Sheet C, or sticker C, big old sticker. Talking about experience and enhancements. All right. We stickered up the rulebook. At the beginning of each game, you'll be able to spend experience to gain enhancements. Add sticker sheet 1, section 1 to your Gravehold barracks. Do not spend your experience yet. So we get this entire chunk of enhancements we can get. Start of each game, each player gains 2 life. This can cause you to have more than your starting life. Start of the game, Gravehold gains 5 life. At the start of the game, after the supply is set up, boost 2 cards in the supply. Crystal enhancements, spark enhancements, breach enhancements. Spellcast from this breach, deal an additional 1 damage. Ooh, on breach 2. That seems good. A spell is cast from this breach. The player who cast it may destroy this breach to place a card in play from the Nemesis deck on top of the Nemesis deck. When a spell is cast from this breach, if the player who cast it has no closed breaches, the spell deals an additional 3 damage. Ooh. Interesting. Ooh, you can have Malistar and Kadir. With relationships to each other. That's cool. Man, all this stuff seems super cool. All right, so that will be the beginning of our next game. Just taking a second to glance over them there because they looked real cool. Slide the other stickers back into the box or into the sticker folder here. I mean, maybe if I can get them in there. Okay, there we go. Read section 6. Okay. So section 6 looks like it leads into... Well, section 6 has more choices. So, let me see. Section 6 leads to either 20 or 56. Let me see if those are the next, like, start the next game. Okay, so section 6 is going to be where we start next time because it is, making choices to go into the next game. So, let me find something to mark it. We'll just grab an experience. Let's write down number 6 as where to start on our next one, because we're going to call it there for the day. Pack this stuff up. Before we do that, I'm going to look at the new cards that we gained. Sunken Onyx. Gain $2. You may discard this after an ally focuses a breach. If you do, they focus that breach again. Interesting. Quicksilver Bolt. You may prep the spell to one of your open breaches during any ally's main phase. When you prep this during your main phase, boost this. If it is fully boosted, it does an additional damage. Okay. Echo Rune. Any player gains 1 charge. You may discard this during any ally's main phase. If you do, they gain $1. Volcanic Shrapnel. Deal 1 damage, deal 1 damage, deal 1 damage. You may return to your hand up to 2 cards from your discard pile that cost 0. So that's 6 damage if we cast it out of a +1 damage breach. And we can split it up. Those all seem cool. But yeah, I am going to call it there for the day. We got 6 experience each. And we will pick up next time on Chapter 2, where it looks like we have a choice of 2 different things that we can go fight. And yeah, thanks so much for hanging out today, you guys. I'll be back, possibly tomorrow, to be honest, but sometime soon to play Chapter 2 of Aeon's End, Legacy of Gravehold. Y'all have a good afternoon, all right?